I'm Sue, and
Yep.
my journey into astrology started when I was 16. And I discovered a bunch of 40-odd-year-old hippies that did the bus trip from London through to Kashmir, overland, which included Afghanistan, Iran, Iraq. And I just felt like I'd found my tribe. So I'm 59 very soon, and I've been doing astrology since I was 16. Now, there are many, many different branches of astrology. My one is looking at the personal charts and looking at transits and how that can impact your life for good or ill. There are many different branches. You have financial astrology, medical astrology. There's something called horary and electional. There's every single country that has
I'm grateful.
a chart has a start date. Britain is 1066, America has theirs. My country, Australia, is 1901. So countries have charts. So therefore, you can have a marital chart. You can have a chart for a job interview to see which way and how to best go about that. So astrology covers a lot of
Sue,
things.
Sue, tell us about you, sweetheart. We want to know about
Well,
you.
my chart is rather interesting because I have 6 planets in Pisces. So I got into astrology to understand myself. I don't come across like a Pisces because I have a Leo ascendant. Now, your ascendant starts your chart. So you can see behind me, you've got all of these pies, slices of pies. They're your houses, and the houses formulate from your ascendant and then go round. So that tells you where in your chart your planets fall. So I discovered that I had a mass in Pisces, seventh and eighth house, with a Leo ascendant. So when you meet someone, you greet their ascendant, not their sun sign. So how do you get your ascendant? You need your time. If you do not have your time, you can dowse, and you can, if you really know somebody well, you can then move things about morning time and move things about, because that will show you where everything falls within each slice of the pie. And each
And,
pie
and
slice.
Sue, just sorry to interrupt you, sweetheart. So, we're going to Sue's going to be asking you about what you're looking for from astrology, and we're going to be looking at what's the pieces of astrology. And if you're anything like me, I mean, I'm a bit of a newbie, but an interested party, definitely. But I don't understand the sort of pieces of, um, I know houses and then
Mhm.
constellations. And could you tell us, do please say, everybody, put in the comments or what you're looking for from what you want Sue to talk about and teach you about in astrology. What's your particular interest? But what are the pieces? What makes up astrology, Sue?
The main 9 planets,
Yeah.
there's 12 signs, and each sign is also a slice of the pie, which are your houses. Aries, the first sign, is the first house, all the way around till Pisces, the 12th house, is also the 12th sign. So each house correlates to the energies of the 12 signs, no matter what sign rules them. The first house will always be Aries house, which is I am. It's all about the physicality of self. The opposite of Aries is Libra. That will always be your relationship house. That is seventh house. So the whole circular pie chart, the 12, I call them pies because it's a good visual analogy. So the 12 signs of the zodiac correlate with the 12 houses of your chart. When you understand the keywords of the actual 12 signs, you can then attribute those over to the 12 houses as well. So they dovetail together. So when you're using astrology and you want to learn astrology, you start from the beginning and you learn in bite-sized pieces. Don't try and swim before you walk. You've got to take this bite-sized at a time because it's a huge subject. And
That's
find your
exactly
specialty.
that's
What
exactly why
are
we're
you
sort of
drawn
splitting it.
to? I am drawn to transits, i.e., there are certain things that happen to everybody, which is a 7-year cycle, that's Saturn, 12-year cycle, that's Jupiter. So you can see the cyclic nature of the universe mimicked and mirrored in your own chart. And there are benefits and there are challenges to everything. And how the planets then talk to each other in your chart. Do they have an argument? Are they singing in harmony or are they singing out of harmony? It's a big subject. So you've got to go back to the beginning, learn your 12 signs, which then double over into the 12 houses. Then you start looking at where your moon is, where your Mercury is, because when you learn your 12 signs, you also learn which planets rule which sign, and then you get all the attributes. It's huge, but do it bite size, bit by bit by bit. What would everybody like to learn? Where would you like to start? You've got a document which is a really good starting point that I
Yeah.
wrote quite a few years ago.
Yeah, so I'm just going to download that. I had a trouble putting it together on the website, but I'm going to try to add this to the comments here because nobody's seen that from you at the moment, Sue. So I'm going to faff around. If you want to talk about and
Okay,
take questions and talk, go ahead and as you
tell
wish.
me
And I'm
what signs you are, guys. I'm a Pisces. Pisces,
Hi.
Sun, Moon, Mercury, Mars, Saturn, Chiron, all in Pisces. That's a lot. With the Leo ascendant. So what
I'm
signs are you? Type it up. Give me a hint.
I'm
Tell me what you
Pisces as
are.
well. I'm Pisces. I'm a double Pisces, or whatever that means.
Moon and Sun, more than likely, your luminaries. What are you? Donna's a Scorpio. Hi, Don. How you doing? So we have one Scorpio, which is fixed water. I like Scorps. A lot of people don't. They get a bad rep. Okay, Margaret's a Libra. One of your biggest things, Margaret, is don't be passive aggressive. Say what you mean and mean what you say. Cancer, if the world doesn't revolve around you and you're not responsible for other people's emotions and how they respond. So Amanda's a Sag. Oh, I was married to a Sag for 33 years. I like Saggies. So Marilyn, Joe Marilyn is an Aquarius. Oh, that's going to be interesting because Pluto has recently gone into Aquarius. You're going to have some interesting times ahead. Taurus, don't be so stubborn. It's okay. Change is good. Oh, Josephine, Aries Sun, Cancer Rising, Virgo Moon. That's an interesting combination. The Aries Sun is go, 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 go. The Cancer Rising loves their home body, likes comfortable home, and Virgo Moon can be a little bit can be not take criticism very well and be self-critical, Virgo Moon. So how was that little synopsis of how did that go for you guys? My late hubby was a Sag. Yeah, my late hubby was a Sag. He died in November 23. We had a long, long relationship together. Saggies are great.
My partner, my father of my kids is Sagittarius as well.
If they have a theme song, Sagittarian's theme song would be Don't Fence Me In. Saggies do have this sense of liking freedom, and it can be the illusion of freedom, but they have this need to have a full expression of themselves. They can be quite big personalities, Saggies. They're ruled by Jupiter. 9 times out of 10, a Saggy walks in a room and you can hear them or see them. They're quite big characters. So anybody else know more than just their sun sign here?
Can I just ask, so can everybody see the download? I've just pinged the download into the chat, the PDF download. If you download that, then you'll be able to see, then you get to keep that. Well, it's a 5-page astrology information. It's really cool. I like what you put together there, so it looks really good and nice and easy to look at.
When you start looking at astrology and looking at the books, you don't do anything, Joe. What do you, oh, you don't know anything. Okay, that's a good place to start, a clean slate. When you read your sun signs in newspapers, that is such a generality because your sun is your identity. It's quite masculine. Your moon is how you emotionally connect, how you feel. Okay,
Can everybody
I'm
just
just
give me
reading a message. She,
Can everyone just tell me if you can see the download okay? If you scroll up the chat a little bit, you can see the astrology PDF. Can everyone see it okay? If you just give me a wave or give me a thumb, you could, Joe, fantastic, brilliant. Oh, Margaret, if you
Margaret,
go into the chat, Margaret, and just scroll up in the chat and you'll see the astrology PDF. You've got it.
Leos. It's easy
Sorry.
to fall out with a Leo. Leo's ruled by the sun. Think of Madonna. She's the most well-known diva female Leo on the planet. With Leos, they're fixed fire. When you're dealing with a fixed sign, which is Leo, Aquarian, that's the opposite, Taurus and Scorpio, you never hit them straight on. You're going to lose because they can sometimes dig their heels in just because they can, even if they're wrong. So when you're dealing with a fixed sign, it's about dropping a pebble in the pond. It's learning to be a little bit diplomatic and play a few games. But a Leo, if they value you and you're their family, they will fight to the death to defend you. Leos have an instinct to protect those that they view as part of their family. Or they also have a strong instinct to protect the weak and the vulnerable if they're not psychopaths and sociopaths and CEOs and things like that, because that's a flip side to a Leo. I get on well, even though I have a Leo ascendant. I can get on well with Leos. Once I clock them, it's like, okay, you want to be the boss, that's fine, go and be a boss. They can, if they value you, they will listen, but they can be a bit hot-headed. Leos, bless them. Every sign has a positive, something that is fantastic, and a negative. Would you like me to go through the positive and negatives as I see them of the 12 signs? Yeah? Okay, thumbs up all around. Cool. Aries, the beginning of the star signs. Aries, they can be very strong because they're ruled by Mars. Aries are great initiators. They're motivationalists, but get them to tidy up the small detail. No, they'll go, I want to do that. I want to do that. No, I want to do that now. They're really good at motivation and high energy. They can come across as a bit ADHD. So yep, with their great marketing, because their attention can be great for that 5 minutes and they'll sell ice to Eskimos, then they're bored and they move on. And their first sign, the first slice of the pie, which is I am. Second sign, Taurus, ruled by Venus. They're the gluttons. They can collect high-end things because they like nice things. IKEA is not the place for them. Primark is not the place for them. Taurians could be champagne tastes on beer wages. They can be very stubborn and dig their heels in, so do not tackle a Taurian head on. You got to flank them. Taurians are great interior decorators, designers for high-end. They can be very good and determined, but they can also chop off their nose despite their face, Taurus.
They're the bulls, aren't they?
They're the
Taurus.
bulls. And their more mantra, second house, is what my things, what I own. So my possessions. So the first one is me. The second one is my belongings. So then the next sign on the zodiac is Gemini. Gemini can come across like ADHD mentally because they get bored. The extreme epitome of Gemini is information exchange because they're ruled by Mercury. So they like PhDs, they like higher learning, but they also invented reality television. So you've got this dichotomy with Geminis. They can be wonderfully intellectual, very fast mind, but they can also bring in this voyeuristic reality TV because it's information and tabloids. So it's hard to keep a Gemini's mind still. If I'm massaging a Gemini, usually I'm having conversation throughout the entire hour, hour and a half, because silence bores them. So after Gemini, which is the third house, which is siblings, short journeys, communication, you move on to Cancer. Bless them. Cancer's ruled by the moon. They can be moody because they fluctuate with the cycles of the moon. They're more likely to be influenced by the lunar cycles than any other sign if you have a strong aspect to Cancer. They are the mothers or the parents of the zodiac sign. They are natural nurturers and feeders. The main thing that a Cancerian needs to understand is someone else's bad mood or sadness is not their, they didn't initiate it, started, and not their fault. They can fall on their sword and make it about themselves when it's not. So if the group doesn't behave the way they want them to, they can get a bit upset. Being a female Cancerian in this world is easier than being a male Cancerian for obvious reasons. For being an emotional woman or having that emotional feminine is easier in society than being an emotional male because of the societal norms of what's placed upon the shoulders of a man. A Cancerian chef, yeah, because Cancerians rule the home. The biggest thing for a Cancerian is a comfortable home. The Taurus home will have lots of nice high-end audio visual, and the Cancer home will have a comfortable sofa and comfortable bed, and everything will be around comfort. Nice pillows, nice blankets, and a comfortable sofa, not something that comes out of a showroom. Then we're moving on to the next house after Cancer. Yeah, Cancerians are great mums. Well, that's then, and may not be their actual physical role as a mother, but they have mothering and nurturing instincts, and they love
And
feeding.
and
Think of an
Anna's
Italian mother, Italian grandma cooking.
Anna, yeah, are you like that, Anna? You said bang on. Is that true?
And then after Cancer, we got Leo. Leo is ruled by the sun. Leo is the showman. Think of Hollywood, think of the stage, think of the diva. They can stand on a stage, they can command, they can also be egotistical, they can also be quite arrogant, but they can stand up and speak. I've got Leo rising. There's also something about Leo's hair. It's a mane. They can be showy. They may like bling. They may like sparkles. They're not wallflowers. You can hear them and see them. They stand out for good or ill. I have a very, very strong defense on someone who I view who is vulnerable or weaker than me. I've broken up fights before today. Leo, they have the capacity to hold families together, but they have the capacity to destroy through arrogance and selfishness. They're interesting folk, Leos. And then after Leos, we're moving on to what's after Leo? Libra. No, Virgo. Virgo. After my nemesis. No wonder I've tried to forget them. Virgos. They're ruled by Mercury. Virgos are detail orientated. They can be pedantic. They can be just so. You want to piss a Virgo off? Move everything in their kitchen an inch to the left or the right. They're the OCD of the star sign. They make great accountants because they're detail. They're very good at sewing up loose ends or seeing detail. But that can also mean that they can spend too much time obsessing over detail. The Virgo mother would say, hey, that's great, but you could have done better. In their way of thinking, they're just trying to encourage when actually they're undermining by destroying self-esteem. Virgos, there's a time and place for Virgos, but they're my nemesis. They're the ones that I find so difficult to get on with because they're opposite me. So Virgos, if you want someone who you need to look at contracts, detail, get a Virgo. Get a Virgo accountant, get a Virgo legal eagle who's going to go over contracts. They're brilliant. That's where they need to be in admin. After
Can you imagine? Can you imagine when you go and get your accountant and say, "Can I just check, please?" Are you
yeah,
Virgo?
there's a time they do my head in because they're just too hypercritical. but they're mutable earths, so they're slower. My energy is faster, and I just find Virgos a little bit too plodding and a bit too rule abiding for my personal liking. But we need
What
them.
we need everybody. And so, what's
We
your
need
star sign?
everyone.
Yeah. What's your star sign again? You're Pisces, aren't you? But Leo
Me,
rising.
Leo rising, but six things in Pisces. So
And
um
what does that mean then? So what does it mean? Are you going to explain like the rising and
the
the
rising is the beginning of your first house, and then
ah?
everything goes around.
So the
So
day that you, so the day you were born, that planet was rising on the horizon.
it's not a planet, it's a
A
snapshot of the sky.
constellation. Sorry.
No, it's where the astrological, the rising is, it changes every 2.5 hours, it changes. So that's why when you're looking at twins, if one is born half an hour later, like Maurice and Robin Gibb, they're twins, but Maurice, who was the alcoholic, had a Scorpio rising, and Robin, who wasn't, had a Libra. So that gave a different. I have friends who are born on the same day, one in the morning and one in the evening. My friend Alan, who was born in the morning, has a Taurus ascendant, and my friend who's born in the evening, almost 12 hours opposite, has a Scorpio ascendant.
Mm.
They had two different childhoods, and they've done two completely different paths down in life.
And what's this ascending? I just haven't quite got it yet. So it's ascending is what's going on in the sky when it's
The
ascending.
horizon. So you basically cut your chart, like the chart behind me. See this line here?
Yep, the one
That
across.
would be the ascendant, descendant. So this
Okay.
side here would be your ascendant, and this would be your descendant. So this is the
Okay.
horizon, and then it turns as the day goes on, and that will give you a different ascendant. And your ascendant
Okay.
is one of the main reasons why you're a Pisces and I'm a Pisces, but we look and we are different because it
Yeah.
sets this whole thing in motion in different ways.
And everyone got that ascendant bit. Is that okay for everyone?
Does that make
Or
sense?
yeah, maybe it's just me. Do ask your questions, everybody, because Sue's here to share her wonderful, amazing knowledge. And Donna says, Virgo, so true.
Yeah. So now we've gone through six. So we've now gone through this half of the chart. And
Mm,
now we're going into this half of the chart. I've got to get, there we go. So we're going up here now. So this is the horizon.
mhm,
And now we're going above. And this, so now we're going into Libra's house, which is also ruled by Venus. So that's Taurus and Libra are both ruled by Venus. Like Gemini and Virgo are ruled by Mercury. So when we're looking at Libra, if I'm going to have a passive aggressive individual, it'll be Libra because they don't like discord. Generally speaking, this is generalities. The Librans that I know, they like things to be on an even keel. They don't like vulgarity. They don't like disruption. So they will actually keep their mouths quiet when maybe they should speak up. They can do little barb digs because they don't want to cause a ruckus. And it's like, but you have a right to be here and you have a right to be happy too. And I would like to know if I've upset you. So my Libran friends, I say, look, tell me. I need to know because if I don't, I will continue. And I respect your opinion. Let's have a dialogue. And so they're the ones with the scales, they're balanced. They're very good at mediating. If you need a mediator, if you need a lawyer who needs to argue for family law or something along those lines, Libras are very good in that respect. They're great in the arts because they're ruled by Venus. One of my good friends in America is an interior designer decorator, and she's a Libran, and her taste is wonderful, impeccable. I take her shopping with me when I'm over there because she'll say, try that on, because she has an aesthetic. So the Librans are also our artists in many ways. And they, again, do not like Primark or something like that. They like quality items.
Oh, tell me about it.
And
My
so,
son, my son's a Libran, and I sent him out. They've both my children have my debit cards, all for
oops,
me. But no, it's all good so far. I'm just keeping an eye. But anyway, he went out. He comes back. He spent like, I don't know, 120 quid. I was like, "What did you buy?" And he said, "These two tops, Mum." And I'm like, "What?" I think the shorts were 60 or something, or 20 or 60 or whatever, and then the top was something else. It's, I don't know, all labels and Adidas and I don't know what. So he looks very nice, and I thought, okay, my son. And then my daughter goes out. She's savvy, savvy, savvy. She came back. I think she spent 20 quid the other day, and she's bought about 7 items, £2 of this and £5 of that. Primark. My son's not having no.
Librans and Taurus, they like quality babes, quality. So the Taurus and the Libran woman will have Marks and Spencer's knickers and bras that fit and will wash well. Where I myself, I like my Marks and Spencer's knickers, but my bras I get from Primark, and my t-shirts I get from Primark. So Librans, we need them. They're our artists. They're wonderful at putting interiors together. They're creatives and they're gentle. Generally speaking, they're gentle men and women because of the need for balance. Um, they don't particularly like things that jar on the soul, which is a bit difficult in the world that we live in at the moment. Poor old Librans, they do get a tough time of it because their next door neighbor is Scorpio, and Scorpios get a bad rap. I like Scorpios. Scorpios generally, thank you very much, the Libran, yes. Scorpios, you guys are walking lie detectors because they're ruled by Pluto. Pluto is the underworld, and if you're looking at anything that is plutonic, it's shadow work, it's psychotherapy, it's CSI, it's the underbelly, the dark side of humanity. Two of my longest serving friends that I've had for many, many, many years are Scorpios. I may not be in contact with them. I may not call them. We may not speak, but if we need each other, we're there. They're very private people, Scorpios. They like you to expose your own underbelly before they will actually decloak, so to speak. You have to earn their trust. And if you step on that and you screw up, then they're likely to shut the door and walk away. No second chances. But Scorpios, if you're a friend and you do right by them as they view it, you've got a friend for life. They're fiercely loyal, um, but they still waters run deep. I've known these two Scorpio women for many years, and there's always corners of them that surprise me. I don't know them. They'll always
Mm.
keep something hidden, and that's fine as long as you don't go digging and you sort of like open up. They will open up when they feel safe. Scorpios,
I've heard that before, that Scorpios are the most secretive star sign, and even direct relations like I don't know, mothers and daughters or whatever, that they you'll still not even know them, even then.
Mhm. You can know a Scorpio all their life, and there will always be something that they haven't told you, no matter how close you think you get. And my
Amazing.
philosophy there is that's okay. I don't need to know everything because their biggest thing that they have to learn is trust, learning to trust, because there's a reason why they don't trust. And it's not for you to push or pull that out of them. They will tell you in their own good time. But if a Scorpio considers you a friend, generally it can be a friend for life, as long as you don't bullshit them, for want of a better word. But just straight up. I Scorpios, they're our walking lie detectors and our CSIs, and they know darkness. They're also Scorpio's house rules other people's money. It rules the dark side. It rules inheritance. It rules death and dying because of Pluto. Doesn't mean that Scorpios are harbinger of death and dying, there's just this thing with them that until when you meet a Scorpio, there's something dark about their face. Maybe dark eyes or brooding eyes or dark hair, but there's something intense about them when you look at them. I don't have a problem with it,
And
but a lot of people find them a bit, oh, I'm not too sure about you. They're powerful people in many ways. The power
and
to transform.
Joe's partner is a Scorpio. Is this ringing true for you, Joe? Yeah.
Excellent. And I love you, Scorpios. Don't worry, I understand you. You're not alone. And the Sagittarian, the eighth house, the ninth house at least, the ninth house is Jupiter's house. And Jupiter is all about expansion. If you've got a well-placed Jupiter, it's your biggest, it's called the Great Benefic. But if it's in a negative, I knew someone who had Jupiter opposite Moon and he just wanted more and more drugs. He wanted more and more food. He just wanted more of everything. And he derailed, unfortunately. But Sagittarius, they're about higher learning. They're social butterflies. Don't cage them. They need to feel a sense of freedom. It's almost like they're the biker of the world that wants to get on his bike or her bike and just explore the world. They need the sense of freedom. My husband and I were together 33 years, and I never wanted to cage him. I always wanted him to be the full expression of him, and he gave me the same back. Saggies generally don't do possessive or jealous. That's the quickest turn off for the male or female. They can be quite loud and gregarious, and if they get caught in an argument, they can hammer their philosophy home. They can get very passionate about their beliefs, for good or ill. But Saggies generally have a good sense of humor too. So that's the ninth house. And then we come up to the top of the chart. We got Capricorn. Capricorn is the tortoise in the hare and the tortoise race. If you've ever tried to change a Capricorn's mind or you're working with a Capricorn, you're in for a long slog. They do things at their own pace. If you can't push them, you can encourage them,
Like the
but
goat, isn't it?
they're ruled by Saturn. They're usually quite physically strong or robust, not always flexible. Being ruled by Saturn means that they can be quite rigid in their outcome, in their outlook, in the way they deal with things. Their sense of humor is very sardonic, um, very satire, very gallows humor. Their biggest worry in life is climbing the corporate ladder. And if they're not climbing the corporate ladder, they're doing something to create an income stream.
I used to go out with a
They're hard
Sagittarius,
workers.
with a Capricorn, and they're just like that, very
Mm.
practical and
Yeah,
all about the money and the climbing, and
yeah,
got terribly upset if things didn't work out with business relationships or business,
yeah.
going up the business ladder. But as a Piscean myself, I found that too brutal and too harsh. Like,
Mm.
because it's all about who you relate to or who you don't relate to, isn't it? Which
Absolutely.
signs you blend with or don't blend with.
And also where they are in relation to you.
Mm.
Pisces is 2 signs away from Capricorn, which is a sextile. So if you're 2 signs away from anything, then that's a positive thing. If you're 90 degree, which is an angle, that's irreconcilable differences. You're going to niggle and argue. So
Ah,
Capricorn is, I've
look
got
at your
my
relation
Venus in Capricorn, which is classic for the body work that I do.
and
Uh,
look at your relationships, everybody. Think about who
absolutely.
and you
Absolutely. The biggest soulmates in your life are the ones that give you your traumas, because they're the ones that you decided to come down and reincarnate with, that give you your traumas, that gave you the opportunity to heal and move forward. Not the ones that, oh my God, are we going to be in love together forever? They are to a degree. Yes, you score. Ah, Aquarius and Scorpio. That's an interesting. Yep, you would clash in many ways, but I would say that if you're in partnership with that, then there are other things that are very harmonious, and your suns just clash. So you may get identity in a bit of a, but if you've got nice movement between Venus and Mars and Moon, then you'll get on, and it's just that one thing that clash. So they're multi-level. Next month I'll have my chart and I'll send that round so that you've got an idea of what we're talking about. But that's visually quite sort of like confusing. So Capricorn, Jack D is a Capricornian style um, comedian. Then we move on to Aquarius.
Sort of blunt, isn't he? And blunt and
Blunt, dry, sardonic, not toilet humor. Quite satire is quite Capricorn because it's if you it's intellectual as well. Capricorns would buy good quality appliances like a Bosch cooker, not a Beko or something. You know, they'll go to John Lewis and buy a high-end equipment like Taurus, but they only need one, where Taurus might have five watches, where Capricorn may have one or two Philippe Pateks. So they like high-end things, but in a different way. Capricorn don't spend frivolously, where a Taurus will covet something a bit like a Leo will as well. That's that fixed thing. So on to an Aquarius. Aquarius are the aliens of the star sign. They've been accused of being cold because their old ruler was Saturn and their new ruler is Uranus. But they can be seen as the rebels. Aquarians' minds are different. They'll make a cup of coffee and put the ingredients in different orders just to see whether it tastes any different, you know, which I like. I can get on board with that. I've got an Aquarian descendant. Aquarians are the type that will marry or be in relationship outside of the expected norm of the family, i.e., a different race, a different religion, same sex. They may move abroad because ultimately their life is about them. And so they can be seen as a black sheep or the rebels of the family. It's my life. I'm doing it my way. I don't care. So I like Aquarians for that, but they can be a bit strange because they're ruled by Uranus, which are the rebels. And I like that because I'm a black sheep myself. Um, my Aquarian is on my descendant, which is my relationship house. And I moved from Australia and married someone 16 and a half years my senior, Saggy, with two ex-wives and four children, two per wife. So that completely shattered everything to do with what is expected and normal of a young 25-year-old woman. I thought, no,
wow.
sod you. It's my life. Um, Aquarians are the future thinkers. They're the ones that would have conceptualized AI, conceptualized the web. All the technology, the modern technology is Uranian. Astrology is Uranian. And Uranus is, if you're looking into Greek mythology, Uranus was a bit of a rebel and sort of banished. And the old ruler, Saturn, which was Kronos or Father Time, who has I don't have an Aquarian in my family. But they're interesting. They don't always get involved in family politics. They're observers in life. They don't always emotionally engage. And then
I find Aquarians are all sort of all over the place, lots of ideas, and it's all exciting, and it's all a bit of hot air. I find the people Aquarians I know. Um,
well,
Makes sense.
Aquarius's ruler Uranus is attributed to sudden change for good or ill, lightning strikes. So if you're looking at what Uranus rules, it rules sudden inspiration because that's like a lightning bolt suddenly hitting you. It's not like you're sitting on something bubbling. Anything to do with computers and computing, AI, desktop publishing, digital, all of that belongs within the Uranian sphere. So that's something that Aquarians, thank you very much for the age of Aquarius bringing that energy in for good or ill. But Uranus is sudden change. It can be wonderful, positive, or it can be, oh, crap. Uranus is lightning, it's earthquakes, it's sudden storms, but then the sun can come out. It's unpredictable. And Capricorns, Taurus, Leos, all like predictability. So Aquarians are unpredictable. I like that about them. We need a bit of that, a bit of a shake up. And then the last sign, Pisces, never underestimate a Pisces. We're made up of all the leftover bits of all the 10, 11 previous signs. The old ruler is Jupiter and the new ruler is Neptune. And we have a big major happening at the end of March, early April. We've got a cluster of things in late Pisces. Pisces is we're highly sensitive. We have to learn not to be, to separate ourselves from others. There's a blurred line between where we stop and other people begin, or the atmosphere we're in begins. We're the painters, the poets, we're the addiction, via escapism of substance. We other things that ruled Pisces is microbial activity, viruses, and bacteria. Interesting that COVID happened during Neptune in Pisces. It also
Mm.
represents religious, not so much religion as in fundamental, but spirituality. Pisces is about connection to all that is, the greater, whatever it is out there. So, anyone else a Piscean besides myself and Althea? Or anyone know any Pisces? Pisces children are very sensitive, where they can be the artists. If you have any Pisces, the downside to some Pisces is depression and feeling unworthy, just feeling overwhelmed. Pisces, it's a difficult energy to carry. Trust me, I've got 6 things in Pisces. So
Well,
there's,
you've got loads of planets in Pisces, isn't it?
yeah, yeah.
I'm hoping, stepping into this lovely course of yours, I'm a bit foggy about how it all works at the moment. I don't know about anybody else. I mean, I know some things, I know bits about myself, or some people I know, like some of the characteristics you've been through with the star signs. So I'm hoping it's all going to become sort of fit into place over the time that you're going to be taking us through. And how are you going to run this? Are you going to sort of go through each? I've noted down a couple of things that I've heard about and that you're talking
Hmm.
about. So the houses around the what do you call this sort of dial? This
The chart.
the chart, and what's a rising sign, a descending sign, and the meaning of sun signs, which you've kindly taken us through today, and how things interrelate. You know, which signs get on with who, and which signs don't get on, which you've mentioned a little bit here. And then I've heard of what's fixed and mutable and the ruling planet. So I mean that I'm sure I'm just scratching the surface. I mean you're the
Hmm.
so what journey are you going to take us on? What's the path of your course look like over the months? Do you have a
Well, the first step is understanding the 12 signs. That is the first step. When you understand the 12 signs and the attributes to the 12 signs, which the document that you've all got now has the positive and negative aspects of the 12 signs. Then once you've got that, always start with the basic 12 signs. Then you start looking at a moon. Where's your moon? Where's your Mercury? Where's your Venus? Where's your Mars? Where's your Jupiter? Where's your Saturn? Then you've got the outside planets, which are generational because they take so long to go round. But where are your personal planets? Then you can start seeing the patterns in your own. How you communicate is your Mercury placement. How you emotionally relate to the world around you and yourself is your moon placement, also your mother. Your Mars, in a simple, is about your action, your determination. In a man's chart, it's his masculinity. In a woman's chart, it's sort of what's the man she's attracted to. Mars is very simple. It's Aries. I want that. How can I get it? It's about drive. Someone's Mars in Cancer will be very different to a Mars in Capricorn. So when you understand the 12 signs, then when you start understanding what Mars means, then you put the Mars into the sign that you were born, and you say, ah, so that's why I have trouble motivating. And that's why this person is successful, because they've got an unstoppable Mars. So when you start pulling it all apart, you've got to go right back to the basics. Get your 12 signs down. The document I've given you will simplify all of that.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So
Then that correlates to the 12 houses.
so the first thing to understand is get an idea about all these different star signs
Yep.
and
Keep
the
it
general.
simple.
Keep it somewhere. Get used to start looking at your different people around you or yourself, and looking at the go and have a look at Sue's download document there, and
Mm.
look at the different star signs. So what have you got here? So for the Western astrology, and I haven't gone through it in detail at the moment myself at the moment, so I'm going to have a look at that later. So the first thing is to understand the size, star signs, and the characteristics, and then
Yep.
the next bit is looking at your star chart. Where are the planets in your
Mm-hmm.
star chart? Now, where are we going to get star charts from?
Astro.com. It's the one I use.
Can you type that into the
Astro.com.
Can you type that into the chat there, Sue?
Yep.
If that's okay.
All right. Where
So
do I?
go and get your star chart if you haven't already, and have a look at it. Um, and you'll see where the planets were at the time of your birth,
Mm-hmm.
and which house they're in. So you talk about houses. So houses are I'm can you bring a chart up and just show us the houses, what that means? I mean, I've got an idea, but I don't know if everyone else does. What's a house? So if you all go to astro.com, everybody, and stick your details in there, get your star chart and have a look at it. And over the next month, perhaps we can get questions from, what have you seen from your star chart, and where are your planets? And you might have some questions. What does that mean? And that bit's there. So you're saying the next bit after you've got that going is to understand the characteristics of the different planets then. So then you sort of
Absolutely.
and then you look at where it is in your star chart, understand what that influences it is, and then you can see what's going on there.
Absolutely. And I've just lost you guys. Oh, there we go. Um, what I will do is, Althea, I will download my chart and you can add it to the recording. And then you can see my chart. One word of warning to anybody who wants to get into astrology: I can read a chart, so therefore your personal stuff is exposed. Reading someone's chart can be exposing things about yourself to somebody who does know how to read it. So just bear that in mind. Be, be, I wouldn't say be cautious, but be mindful of who you share your chart with.
Because of course, to
Because,
most of us, I feel quite blind to it, and you don't
mm,
realize
mm-hmm.
that you're exposing yourself,
Oh
dear.
yeah, oh yeah. The astrologers have had wonderful time pulling apart Keir Starmer, Donald Trump, um, Adolf Hitler, Stalin, Pol Pot, Idi Amin, all of them. And then when you put a chart like Trump and America, and then you overlay the two, you can see how one man influences the country or the country influences the man. You can also see why
Mm,
myself and the Australian chart, why I didn't feel like I felt I belonged in Australia. But I get the when I put the same chart of England, or put my chart in England, a relocation chart, no wonder I feel comfortable here.
amazing,
There are
amazing.
many, many different aspects. There's a lot of companies that actually hire financial astrologers, but they're not on the books, and it's highly, highly confidential because the money market goes in tune with Mercury. Mercury retrogrades, Mercury phases. Isn't it interesting that a stock market is a bull or a bear market? Bull, Taurus, currency. So
Mm,
money is ruled by Taurus, but banks and conservative types of employment is ruled by Capricorn.
It's all there, isn't it? It's all
It's all
there.
there. If you know what you're looking for, it's all there. And then, I mean, just to complicate matters even more, there are fixed stars like Juno, Shiat, Speaker. We all know Chiron, the wounded healer. That's a asteroid that I use that. Um, and there's all manner of pinpoints in a chart, literally, where you have something 1 degree either side in a pinpoint, why someone is successful, why someone is struggling. You bring in certain asteroids, it's like, oh God, bang, there it is. Juno was Jupiter's wife. So in a woman's chart, you're looking at Juno. Where's Juno placement? Or where is Juno placement in your husband's chart? So there's all manner of
Deep, deep,
things that
deep.
can fine tune.
Yeah,
But that's
it's
another story
amazing.
for another day. You've got to start at
Another
the
story for
beginning.
another day. That's it. So, what can we say to everybody? If you can download your personal chart, get it from Astro, the link that Sue just put in there. Get your personal chart, have a look at it, get familiar with the star signs if you don't already, or just start getting to know the star signs because I know it does take time. It's quite it's a big subject,
It's huge.
and have a look at the people in your family and around you, what's the star sign, and just get a feel for the different characteristics, and have a look where the planets are and all these different planets. And Sue's written it in this download. What are the different planets? What are they about? And have a look where they are in your chart. So perhaps it would be a good idea to bring that to the next month's call then, and
Absolutely.
bring up questions. What does it mean? This is in that, and that's in this.
Because
What
the
what
biggest way to
sorry.
learn astrology is to do it. When I was part of the Astrological Lodge of London, I used to go regularly before COVID. And I learned so much through just listening to, I had access to some of the UK's best astrologers. And there's one chap I love following because he's very Uranian and he's a rebel. Is a guy called Steve Judd. And his astrology, take on astrology, is outside the box. He doesn't run with the pack. And astrologers are great at arguing. They'll sit down and they'll pull charts apart. And just by osmosis, which is a, a skill Pisceans have, just by being immersed in it, I was absorbing it. And it was absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. It's a big subject. Get your charts done, bring them in, and next month I'll help you go over them and
We'll talk
expand on
about
more. And bring with you
wonderful,
questions. Please do. Drop me an email, drop me a text. What would
and
you
you'll be
like
up,
to learn?
and
Drop
you'll
me
be able to
your actual charts. Yeah,
and you'll be able to. We'll talk about it on the next call then.
absolutely. Because
Amazing.
I would like you guys to direct where you want this to go. Because I have all this knowledge, but I don't want to sit here and just have this conversation without your input. Because the best way of learning is bring your chart in, show me something, and we'll discuss it, chart discussions.
Wonderful. And what's these the elements and the qualities? Is that just more deeper information about each star
Yeah.
sign?
The qualities are whether it's fixed, cardinal, or mutable.
Mm.
And the elements are water, Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces, they're all water. That's a lovely trine. The earth is Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. That's a trine. So they're in trinities. Then you've got air, Libra, Aquarius, and Gemini. And you've got fire, which is Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. So
And when you
that's your
say
qualities.
it's a trine,
Mhm.
that's they're two signs apart. Is that a trine?
Three,
Three, three
three.
trine. So three
When you
signs.
have the same quality with the same element,
Mm.
that's the trine. You've got a triangle, an equilateral triangle in the chart. That's where the energy flows because we're coming from the same place. Water comes from feeling, fire comes from action, air comes from intellect, and earth comes from physicality. Earth are generally the ones that they're slower, other than Virgo, but then they're slow because they're still trying to make a decision. Meanwhile, Capricorn and Taurus have gone off. So when you're looking at the qualities, earth, air, fire, and water, they all come from a similar but different place. Scorpio is water, but it's fixed. The fixed is the element. Pisces is water, but it's mutable. Cancer is water, but it's cardinal. The Cancer will make the food. The Scorpio will make out the list and get everyone invited and orchestrate things, and the Pisces will make sure everyone's okay while the Cancer's in the kitchen doing the cooking. So when you're looking at, they're all in a caring, nurturing way, but they do it differently.
It's
So
fascinating, isn't it?
yeah.
And as you say right in the beginning, when with the sign up page that you put together, that you said your things there that you did astrology to learn about yourself and to know who you were. And I had
Mm,
my chart done recently actually, and it's like it's extraordinary. I mean, it shows you who you are as a young person and who you are as
mm-hmm,
going through your life, how
mm-hmm.
you are with finances, how you are with lovers or
Yep.
siblings or parents. And I had a very strong father, for example, and I was always a bit, clashing and growing up. Being a Pisces, he was Aries, but
Oh.
seeing it in the seeing it in the chart, you had this very sort of solid methodical, plodding character. Lots of good things in there as well, and not that's not good. But then they've got this free flowing Piscean me, and we just
Mm-hmm.
clashed. And as a child, it's like, oh, Dad, it's so annoying, Dad. But looking at the charts, well, obviously there was a clash because of our
Uh,
personalities. It's
Not
so
just that. It's in the
it's
chart. It's
it's
literally in your chart. My
it's
mother is an
literally
alcoholic. I have Pisces moon conjunct or next to, right on top of Chiron, the wounded healer, in Pisces in Scorpio's house. So the moon in Pisces, addiction, Chiron, the wounded healer, the moon, mother, in Scorpio's house, addiction. So I've got addiction and my mother's addiction, which is escapism, which is Pisces, and the wounded healer. My wounds were caused by my mother. It's in my chart.
extraordinary, isn't it? And
It's
what I
there.
found being taken through my chart is that I found peace
Mm.
with things were like angst and revved up for
Yeah.
me or whatever. I found peace. It's like, oh, it's obviously.
That's the lesson I had to learn by choosing those parents. That's what I believe anyway.
I do too, actually.
The cosmic
Wonderful.
joke you chose.
Yeah, that's what I told my kids. You chose me.
Yep.
Amazing. So, I mean, I can just see we're just tipping the tip of the iceberg here, isn't it? We've gone through the different signs. So, if everyone's up for next month, come along. You'll need to book up each time. I'll put out I'll change the link so that you can book up each time and come along each time. Download your chart, have a look at it, start observing everybody. What's your star sign? And
Also, one thing, if someone doesn't believe it, don't try and convert them
mm,
because I've asked, oh, when's your birthday? Oh, not that astrology shit. And I'm like,
not one of
ah,
those
humor me.
rubbish.
I don't need to convince anybody. It's cool. You're allowed to have your opinion. If you think it's a load of garbage, then you're entitled to that opinion. I'm not here to convert anyone, but I do use it in my work because their age and their sign can tell me whether or not they're having massive transits, which will put them into possibly a negative headspace.
Mm. And thank
That's a
you.
story
You
for
did
another day.
another day. So Jo said she's interested in how she can use her chart to live a more fulfilling life, and also how to use this to understand and improve relationships.
Well, yep, when you understand yourself and you find peace with yourself and who you are, you don't care about other people's business. You can be more accepting of others because you are at peace with yourself. True happiness is about finding peace with yourself, making peace with the parts of you that may be uncomfortable, that you're not happy with, and letting go. Healing is a negative journey. It's a healing. The healing journey is, I call it negative because you're releasing and letting go. You're accumulating, but you're letting go. And it's forgiveness of self first, not others. A perpetrator you may not feel ready or able to forgive. But if it happened when you were a child, you were innocent. And it's about self-forgiveness and letting go. So it's a journey of subtraction.
I'm with you on that one. Finding peace with oneself, and I'm realizing it more and more and more the
Toxic's
older I get.
toxic, Amanda. At the end of the day, sometimes you've got to walk away. But
So,
oh, thanks, Josephine.
and Amanda's saying that she doesn't have anybody to work with, but we're here for you,
We're
Amanda.
here. You got my details, Amanda. And maybe we can be, link up and we can talk to each other, or, there's have a group, because if you're all students of astrology, we're all going to find different things because we're all different signs and we're all got different Mercuries and we're all going to see the same chart but different. People see different things in mine, and I've looked at my chart since I was 16. We all
Wow,
see different things because we come from different perspectives and different
of course,
cultural backgrounds. It's great.
of course.
It's
Okay, then. So we have come to the top of the hour here, and so we're going to close in a
right.
moment. But Sue, how do
Yes.
people, if people want to get in touch with you directly and say, well, where's that Sue? How can I get in touch? And to get
Email
your
me. It'll
email
be
you?
it'll be in the text. It'll be in the email that you get my contact details. Feel free
Yep,
to email me or text me. I'm available. If I don't get back to you straight away, I'm busy, but I will always return texts, calls, and emails. It's rude not to.
wonderful.
The
So
invitation is there, please.
wonderful. And Amanda
I
wants to
can
get
see
in
you're
touch.
eager, Amanda. It's
Yep.
okay.
It's so cool. You're going to love it, Amanda. It's so cool. And so I found such peace having my chart done.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it wasn't by Sue. It was before I met Sue. But I thought, oh yeah, I'll go on then. What the hell? Get my chart done. But oh my gosh, it was amazing. I found peace. I found peace with it. It was beautiful. So Sue, you read individual charts, and
Yep.
you're doing this course over the year. We're going to be here every month for the next 12 months. I'm so excited and so honored that you come to PainFree and that you're going to be doing this for us and teaching us, opening our minds and connecting us to the stars and the planets and learning about ourselves and about your relationships and all about what you're made up of. It's absolutely mind-blowing. It's wonderful. Thank you so much, Sue. This is just
You're welcome, guys.
I'm so
I
excited.
look forward to many more of these. I mean, I love my subject. I love what I do. I love my work. And part of what I'm here on this planet is to share information freely, share information. I don't hold on to anything you want to know. Just ask.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Sue. And
You're
thank you so much,
welcome.
everybody, for joining us tonight. Do get in touch with Sue for the next questions or to get your chart done. And
Yep.
we will see you on the next call. I'll put the link out to you. You have first, you're going to get, because you've started with the first call, you get the first links before I put it out to everybody else. And see you on the next one. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thanks, guys. Go well. Look forward to our monthly sessions.